The wait is now over as the Lagos State government, via a white paper, responds to the recommendations of the EndSARS panel report. Annotations on the paper border on acceptance, compromise, and rejection. The outcome and reactions over the white paper is our focus on this episode of Special Report. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jeffrey Uzongo.
In October 2020, what started as a social media campaign to end police brutality later turned into street demonstrations. Nigerian youths across the states came out in their numbers to protest the excesses of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad (SARS), a now disbanded police tactical unit. Other issues including unlawful arrest, torture, and extrajudicial killings were also on the front burner, and it became a platform for demanding government's action against insecurity, corruption, economic instability, and other issues of national interest. As the protest gained momentum, the protesters laid down their 5-point demand. This includes but not limited to the compensation for the families of those who died due to police brutality, the release of arrested protesters. They also called for the psychological evaluation of officers of the disbanded SARS before they are redeployed into other units, setting up of an independent body to investigate allegations of police misconduct and to prosecute those indicted, as well as an increase in the salaries and allowances of police officers.
We need transparency, we need truth, we need to see. We need to see the officers that did the offense to be brought to justice first. Accountability. The reform, we need to see it. But SARS is over. There should be no reason. Any police tell you to bring your phone, that is done. But I'll be speaking more on it. But it's the first step. There's still a lot to do. But we're taking the first step. I don't think there's ever been any instance where somebody like me has sat down directly with the IG to talk. So at least there's dialogue now. So I appeal to my people out there that they have listened to us.
The police hierarchy took their demands headlong.
The Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the Nigerian Police, otherwise known as SARS, is hereby dissolved across all formations, the 36 state police commands, and the Federal Capital Territory, where they currently exist. 2. All officers and men currently serving in the unit are to be deployed with immediate effect. 3. New policing arrangements to address the offenses of armed robbery and other violent crimes that fall within the mandate of the dissolved Special Anti-Robbery Squad shall be presented in due course. 4. A Citizens and Strategic Holders Forum will be formed to regularly interface with the leadership of the police at all levels and advise on police activities. 5. To deal with the reports of crimes committed against citizens, an investigation team will be constituted, which will include civil society organizations for transparency, and the culprit will be punished.
Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo announced that the 36 state governors and the FCT minister will set up judicial panels of inquiry on police brutality to receive and hear complaints of victims.
I'm very concerned, in fact, sometimes angry about what I see happening, to young men and women who are arrested or in some cases maimed or killed, by men of the police force and, in some cases, those who man tactical units of the police force, such as SARS and the other different tactical units that there are. It is completely objectionable. It's unacceptable. These are individuals who are meant to protect Nigerians. For example, and I think in the statement it specifically said that you cannot have a situation where SARS say they're investigating cybercrime and arresting people, young men and women who are carrying laptops and carrying on their phones. Cybercrime is an electronic crime. There's no way that you can investigate that by seizing people's phones in a taxi or in their cars. So I think it's very obvious that this is a major concern. A few bad eggs within the police force are causing a lot of these, and because it's all over the place in different states, there's a need, of course, to take serious action. I think that the IG statement today is a good first step.
Shortly after, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu announced that the panel, when set up in the state, will include 2 youth representatives and a member of the Human Rights Commission to accommodate all stakeholders.
Same panel headed by retired Justice Doris Okuobi will be investigating, all of the issues that happened at the Toll Plaza on Tuesday night. So their terms of reference have been expanded, and for emphasis, the sitting will start on Monday at the Lagos Court of Arbitration International Center, at the Lagos Court of Arbitration International Center, which is in Lekki. I think it's around the first or the second roundabout in Lekki. They will be sitting, and receiving petitions, from. But of course, if you need to send them petition via email, their email address again is judicialpanel@lagostate.gov.ng. These emails have been populated, their telephone numbers too have been sent out. So they will start their sitting on Monday. So we will expect, everyone, that have, a petition, a case, or something, to pass on to this panel. And like you said, they've been empowered extensively to determine how they run and how, they conduct themselves at the panel.
Beyond setting up this panel, which serves as a representation of a broader interest, a 200 million naira fund was also set aside for compensation to families and individuals who have been victimized by officers of the disbanded SARS.
Number one, you said to me that we should release all the Protestants that were arrested yesterday. All the 6 of them were released yesterday evening. The number 2 request here is that we should set up immediately a means in which we need to compensate all the families.
Yes.
Lost loved ones.
Yes.
Immediately, I have instructed my Ministry of Youth. We have set up, and one of the things that I said to some of your leaders yesterday, I want the list of everybody that has had one fatal encounter with SARS or not. I want all their names in Lagos.
Yes.
If there's any fatal encounter with SARS in Lagos,
so they can be
I want all their names. I have some names. I want to be sure that I have all the names. I have set up a 200 million naira fund in which we will identify the families and we will pay the families. Your third request is that you want us to set up an inquiry where everybody that has an issue, that has been bruised, that has been brutalized, that has been oppressed by any of the operatives, you want to be heard and you want the perpetrators to be brought to justice. Absolutely. So that is your third request, and I'm going to say to them, we need to set up that panel ASAP. The fourth and the fifth request, you want us to increase the salary of police officer. Yes. You want us to have a police reform. Yes.
Days after, an 8-man judicial panel of inquiry and restitution to investigate cases of police brutality in the state was inaugurated to look into citizens' complaints of rights abuses by operatives of the Police Special Anti-Robbery Squad and also determine the cause of the coordinated attacks on Lagos, noting that the panel's final report will be fully implemented. The Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu cited Section 5 of Tribunals of Inquiry Law, Laws of Lagos State 2015, as a legal justification to set up the panel.
I encourage everyone that has been brutalized by the disbanded SARS, including families of those who must have had fatality, to present their case before this judicial panel. The task of reforming the Nigerian police is achievable in our view. We however require the cooperation of all our citizens, including the youth, to accomplish this. The Lagos State appreciates the cohesive efforts of our resilient young men and women who have stood their ground these last 2 weeks. Because of them, a much desired change has become inevitable within the Nigerian police force. The email that has been created for the panel at the first instance is called the Judicial Panel on SARS at lagosstate.gov.ng. This, in my view, will help us avoid it being hijacked by hoodlums who are disguising themselves and marauding themselves at night with other ulterior motives.
The terms of reference of the tribunal include the following: to inquire into and investigate complaints of police brutality or related extrajudicial killings, to invite individuals, groups, stakeholders, and host communities and other interested members of the public to give evidence on issues relating to the abuses, to evaluate the evidence presented and draw conclusions as to the validity of the complaints. The tribunal, at the end of the sitting, is expected to submit its report within 6 months, commencing from the date of its first sitting. But however, its tenure is renewable at the discretion of Mr. Govt.
The panel begins sitting on Tuesday, October the 27th, 2020. Several complaints were made and compensation paid to the families or individuals who have been victimized by officers of the disbanded SARS.
On that fateful day when I'm coming at the night, some Marwa are making U-turning in my front. I have to be patient in order not to hit any one of them. I just hear some Okada rider is coming, banging my car. You're the Swiss lemon, go now, why are you waiting for them? I said, do you want me to kill or finish any one of them? He said, why are you talking to me like that? What do you want me to say? Are you with yourself? Can't you see your front? Not knowing that it's a policeman. They go and raid Okada. So they're driving, and it's in mufti, not in police uniform. He just come in my front. He managed to come in my front. Because those men who are still doing U-turn, they just block my way. You don't know who you are talking to. I said, who are you? Can't you see yourself? He said, you are talking to me. Before I know inside my son, he just slapped me. And my wife is my side. My wife told me, say, don't fight him, don't fight him. But when the beating is too much, I have to come out from my car. On getting out, the man just, there are two. The other one didn't beat me, I won't lie. But he hold me. This man just used his head. Pwah! The next thing I see, the two kids just come, and I faint immediately. Oh yeah, he just heard down one of his men. Oh yeah, carry this man because I can't drive. This thing takes us sometimes, so not as quick as I'm just explaining. I just want you to be faster.
The Lagos State government has paid compensation of over 200 million naira to deserving petitioners and even awarded a total of 410 million naira as compensation to about 70 million victims.
Extrajudicial killing of your late Mrs. Kudura Adebayo.
Congratulations.
On October 15, 2021, the judicial panel submitted its report after about a year of sitting to the Lagos State government.
We're seeing this for the first time, and I imagine
The panel submitted its final report with a total compensation of about 410.2 million naira paid to 70 petitioners.
Pursuant to the powers vested in me by Section 1 of the Tribunal of Inquiry Law of 2015, Lagos State Tribunal of Inquiry Law 2015, I inaugurated an 8-member independent judicial panel of inquiry chaired by my Lady Honorable Justice Okwo being retired, and many distinguished Nigerians that are members of that panel, to inquire into the disbanded Nigerian Police Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS,
on human rights related abuses, which was on the 19th. And of course, that mandate was extended with the Lekki Toll Plaza incident of 20th October 2020 to make restitution and other recommendations to government as it deems appropriate, including prosecution of erring officers. Gentlemen of the press, you will also recall that it's been over a year now. It was meant to be, at the first instance, a 6-month assignment, but twice the panel sought for an extension, and on the 2 occasions, the extensions were granted to the panel. And I'm told the panel came to a conclusion about 3 weeks ago, and they did mention that they would want time to also be able to go in recess and put up their reports. I'm indeed happy and excited that today, the 15th of November 2021, the panel has, as we've seen, submitted 2 sets of reports, one being a consolidated report on general police brutality cases, which is by the panel, and another report specific on the report of the Lekki incident investigation of 20th October 2020.
Some of the recommendations of the Lagos Judicial Panel are that the officers of the Nigerian Army shot, injured and killed unarmed, helpless and defenseless protesters without provocation or justification while they were waving the Nigerian flag and singing the national anthem, and the manner of assault and killing could in context be described as a massacre.
Petitioners who were awarded compensation today, you were in the process of preparing your checks. You will definitely collect the checks. We are on ground. The Secretariat is fully on ground from Friday because of the public holiday and the situation on the 20th. We're pushing it to Friday of this week when we would have collected all the checks from Alausa. I can assure everybody and trust me that you will all collect your checks as soon as they are ready.
As to the findings, as to where we have come so far, respect to the findings of the panel, well, it's okay. It is better that we have come this far than not to have made this progress. The fact that people were able to get financial compensation for cases that they have forgotten is something that we must give kudos to the Lagos State government. This panel is not all that there is to reforming the Nigerian police and to bringing about institutional reforms, as we hope, in the Nigerian bar situation. But it is a good step in the right direction. And so we must commend Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu and the government of Lagos State for constituting the panel. We would also thank members of the panel, and we would hope that we would then continue to engage with the government on other laudable means of bringing about reforms in the police and our policing system.
I've been into this issue for the past 5 years now, 2016. I mean, this issue, I don't even expect this kind of panel can come up. So I thank to the Lagos State government for this cooperation. Then with this cooperation now, I can be able to continue my medical stuff. So I can be able to come back to my feet normal. Because I mean, this issue, I'm using this working frame for the past 5 years now.
I'm very, very grateful. For over 15 years now that I've been carrying this leg with pain and everything. I thank God for the Lagos State that make it possible for me to carry on more surgery again, for me to be okay with it. I said I will do like 4 surgery now before I can be able to use the leg to walk.
2 weeks after, the Lagos State government released its white paper on the report of the Judicial Panel of Inquiry on Police Brutality and Lekki incident, rejecting the claim that 9 people died at the Lekki Tollgate Plaza.
It is far too easy to take sides and to choose emotion over facts, even when the truth is to be found in the shades of nuance. It is easy to choose darkness over light, to take perverse delight in playing unhelpful games of cynicism and suspicion, to cling to beliefs that do not carry the weight of verifiable evidences. To become a champion of prejudices is to own a fleeting and a false victory. It is a victory of rancor over reason, of vengeance over justice, of hunger over compassion. Today, I stand before you to declare that I reject this path, and I invite you all to do the same. The choice confronting us today is between restoring a greater harmony or doing a greater harm. I choose harmony over harm. As your governor, it is my task to explain why all Lagosians should join me on this path that promises a more beneficial future to all. Fellow Lagosians, let me at this point bring to fore some of our very important contexts that we must never lose sight of. You will recall that the Judicial Panel of Inquiry was originally inaugurated to investigate allegations of police brutality which were committed by the disbanded SARS in Lagos State. It was in the aftermath of what happened on October 20, 2020, that I decided to expand the mandate of the panel to include investigating what really happened at the night at Lekki Toll Plaza. As a matter of good faith and a sincere commitment to uncovering the truth, we constituted a panel of individuals that we believe were independent, were credible, and representative of the various stakeholder community interested in the movement against police brutality.
The government also flagged some claims in the report, maintaining that it was full of discrepancies, irregularities, and inaccuracies with claims of deaths of victims, even when some paragraphs of the same report revealed different assertions.
I'm sure no member of the panel can claim that the state government made any attempt to influence them in any way throughout the duration of its sitting. While I commend the panel for undertaking its tasks to the best of its abilities, it is however regrettable that the panel's work and the leakage of an unauthorized version of the report has generated tension. Sadly, a deep wound has been reopened. The heated exchanges among various shades of opinion on the report have unfortunately put us at the risk of meeting the larger picture. The fact that what we all seek is common, is a land in which we're all safe and secure. Law enforcement agents are trusted and justice is guaranteed for all.
At the end of the day, what everyone wants is a sociable closure and a safe society where the rule of law and indeed the sanctity of human life is absolutely sacrosanct. Thanks for your time and, of course, your usual company. I'm Jeffrey Uzongo.